In the span of 8 days, Queensland mum Jade saw 9 different doctors in a bid to help her sick toddler. As a nasty red rash took hold of 3-year-old Jesse's body, Jade's concerns were brushed off time and time again. Tragically, just over a week after his first ER visit, Jesse died in hospital from complications due to a common bacterial illness normally treated with antibiotics. For more health and well-being related news and videos, check out Health and Wellbeing. Medical staff kept telling me that sick kids don't smile, Jade tells 7 Life. But Jesse was always a happy boy. He was smiling half an hour before he died. It's been 12 years since Jesse passed away, but each anniversary of his death is a haunting reminder to Jade. "I don't want compensation, I don't want anything out of Jesse's death," she explains. "But I want others to know to never second-guess yourself, trust yourself and keep pushing for answers." Jesse's story. Jade remembers the first moment she spotted the red rash covering almost every inch of Jesse's tiny body. The rash mimicked one her oldest son Zach had a few years prior. Zach was initially diagnosed with rosacea, but as the days progressed, his rash turned into painful blisters. A race to the ER saw him diagnosed with scarlet fever, a common bacterial infection that usually evolves from untreated strep throat. However, if left neglected, the illness can cause severe complications with vital organs and in extreme cases can cause death. As soon as Zach entered the hospital, he was whisked away, given antibiotics, and within a few days was back to his normal self. And Jade never forgot the stern doctor who scolded her for not bringing her son in earlier. So, when an eerily similar rash began appearing on Jesse's body, Jade wasted no time and drove him instantly to the ER. However, this time, the mum's concerns were quickly brushed off. "They basically told me I was uneducated and melodramatic," Jade recalls. She continually expressed her concerns about scarlet fever, but she was shrugged off and labeled an overly concerned mum. But Jade's experience with Zach kept running over and over in her mind. So, she picked up Jesse, packed him in the car and drove to another nearby hospital. Brushed off there, Jade claims she was met with the same reaction. Told her son had mild symptoms, Jade was advised he didn't need to be in the emergency room. "They thought it was just some sort of viral infection," Jade explains. "They told me to give him small amounts of water, and when he finished it he could go home. They put us in a room and gave us a jug of water. The mum did just that." While she sat at his bedside slowly topping up his water, her mind began racing. "With the second hospital telling me I was overreacting, I just started to believe it," she explains. "I was thinking, am I being overprotective? Am I overthinking it?" After Jesse finished the water, Jade decided to take her boy home. On the way, she pulled into McDonald's for some nuggets at Jesse's request. "I think he maybe ate one, maybe 1.5 before he threw up," she said. Phoning the hospital, they told Jade it was a positive sign Jesse was hungry and to just go home and observe him. Observation, but his condition didn't improve. He stopped passing urine, a sign that sent Jade into distress. So she took him back to the ER, where she claims nurses questioned whether she just didn't see it. Distraught, Jade went back and forth to various hospitals over the next few days. They began pumping him full of fluids. "He blew up like a balloon," Jade says. "He swelled up like Michelin Man. I remember screaming at them, telling them if they don't do something my son will die." After 5 days of seeking medical attention across various rural towns and with no improvement in his condition, Jesse was flown nearly 5 hours away to a city-based hospital. There, Jade and Jesse's father Byron sat for 7 hours anxiously waiting as doctors ran tests on their boy. "We were just waiting while they poked and prodded and did their stuff," Jade says. "And then we were told it might be something contagious, so had to put these gowns on to see him." Smiling to the end, dressed in full PPE, it was hard for the parents to see their son hooked up to so many machines. But cheeky Jesse still mustered the courage to smile at the sight of his mum and dad. Staying by his bedside, Jade and Byron were updated on Jesse's condition as doctors ruled out a contagious disease. But they were still no closer to an answer, despite Jade's insistent comments about scarlet fever. 2 days into his latest hospital stay, the mum popped out to grab a quick breakfast before returning to Jesse's side. I knew. She wells up. I started screaming that something was wrong because Jesse was just staring at me, not at me like through me. I knew he wasn't okay. Nurses raced in and discovered Jesse was in cardiac arrest. Quickly the room filled with over 12 medical staff as Jade was pushed into the corner watching as medics attempted to keep her boy breathing. The veins in his neck and face had popped out, the mum horrifyingly recalls. Then Byron unknowingly walked in and broke down as he saw Jesse unconscious. The parents were instantly ushered out of the room as their son was pronounced dead. Jesse died on May 3, 2010, just 3 months after his 3rd birthday. A primal sound came out of me. Jade remembers the moment she heard her little boy had passed. Finally fighting back her emotions, she entered Jesse's silent room, sat on the bed and held her boy. For 3 hours she cuddled, cried and shared memories with her once vibrant, happy boy. Home without him. Going home without Jesse was hard, but entering her house filled with memories of her boy sent Jade into a dark depression. I just collapsed on the floor and cried, she says. Everything of Jesse's was everywhere. I opened the fridge and there were Easter eggs in there. His Easter eggs. I only let him have one a day, like would it have killed me to let him have all of them? If I knew this would have happened to him I would have let him eat them all. All of his things, I just kept staring at them and then I had to go to the funeral home and do all of these things you never want to do for your kids. The next few years are a blur for both Jade and Byron. The mum cannot thank Byron enough for being her rock, helping her shower, eat and supporting their family while she fell apart. He is an amazing father, Jade says. Everyone always asks how I am, but the truth is we both lost him that day. The pair have since gone their separate ways but still share a close bond and spend almost every holiday with each other in their new families. Jade now has 2 little girls, Esri and Stella. His sisters he never met, Jade says. Ryan's Rule. 2 years after Jesse's passing, Ryan's Rule was introduced in Queensland allowing patients, parents or caregivers to request a review into a patient's health if they believe the condition is not improving. The rule is named after Ryan Saunders who died in 2007 from undiagnosed streptococcal infection. Jade is overjoyed at the implementation of Ryan's Rule across Queensland with similar rules rolling out across other states and territories. The mum is using her grief and love for Jesse to promote the importance of parents' voices. Don't just take your doctor's word. If you feel like they are wrong, tell them, Jade urges. For more engaging lifestyle